Thanks for tuning in to more college football coverage here on Proline TV, the Orleans Football Network, as we talk some SEC football. And we get the opportunity to talk about the Rebels with Billy Embody of rebelgrove.com, part of the On3 network. Billy, thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
All right. Yeah. Of course, if you want to check out what Billy does for both programs, we also have another interview and another video that we just produced regarding the SMU Mustangs. So Billy does double duty here with both programs, and it's great to have a person that we can talk to, especially during the season. This is giving us also a good opportunity to preview these two programs, and we're going to preview Ole Miss football now in the SEC with Billy. And you've got an Ole Miss team here that is, I know the transfer portal is maybe getting newer for a lot of programs, but Lane Kiffin it has been like one of the pioneers. He knows he's the guru of transfers. This is nothing new to him, and it looks like he's going to have to be at his best once again with a lot of the talent that is no longer here with the program this season.
Yes, he will. Another, I would say, big overhaul of new players being brought in by this Ole Miss staff. But, they're good at this. I tell you what, it's funny to watch every year. People try to pigeonhole Lane Kiffin as this portal king and doesn't care about high school recruiting and this and that. But I tell you what, there are some high school players on this roster that they have recruited that are stepping into some roles for them that are going to be key. And at the same time, they went out and had to address some holes. And in the SEC, there's no time to lean back on high school recruiting. And Lane has done a really nice job of leaning into the rules that are currently in place to best assemble a roster. And he's got a homegrown quarterback in Austin Simmons, who's going to be pretty special, I think, in the long run. But he also went out and surrounded him with a whole bunch of talent. And this might be a little cliche to say, but coming off of all they lost off of that 2024 team with Jackson Dart leaving, Walter Nolan going in the first round, Trey Amos being a star corner, Trey Harris being a star wide receiver. They didn't even have a running back really I should say much of a running game most of the season last year, and they still won 10 games. If they take this team in 2025 with a new quarterback, with so much change all over the field, I believe they're replacing 18 of 22 starters. I think this is his best coaching job if he wins another 10-game season.
Yeah, let's take a look at the depth chart, the Arledge depth chart for Ole Miss. And as you mentioned, the biggest job of all goes to quarterback Austin Simmons. And look, I don't think I've ever seen a situation before in all my years paying attention to college football. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with the portal. You're getting more and more young quarterbacks that are given an opportunity to start right away, either as true freshmen or redshirt sophomores, or like Simmons, a redshirt freshman, or like Simmons, a redshirt sophomore. And so because of that, I think there's so much mystery that's going to be out there this season. Who knows which of the young quarterbacks are going to succeed and which are going to fall on their face or which are going to take more time to develop. So where do you think Austin Simmons fits in? Taking a look at his high school background, what he's done so far with the program. I know he does not have a lot of experience, in college football at this point. So, what do the fans have to look forward to with Austin Simmons?
I think with Austin Simmons, they have a lot of, arm talent that he's going to be able to flash all over the field. I really think his arm talent is special. Just the way he throws the football, the pop on it. He can make every throw on the field. And, in a way, Jackson Dart kind of had a little bit of a let's call it a yellow flag on arm strength coming out of college when he did get drafted. I think it says a lot the way he moved up the draft boards into the first round, because he's not ever going to be accused of being this big armed quarterback. Austin he's got a gun, played baseball, can absolutely fire it, and again, that's no slight on Dart. but he can make every throw. It's just nothing insane, like I think Austin Simmons is as far as the level of arm talent. And if he can figure out how to manage the game right off the bat and not force Ole Miss into adverse situations and turnovers, man, they're going to be good once again, because he has this maturity, he has this work ethic that it should all line up for him, because he's got a lot of talent around him, especially in year one. That's so critical. But man, if he doesn't turn the ball over, they should be right back to where they were as far as being one of the most potent offensive attacks in college football.
Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the depth chart. Let me pop it up here once again. And on offense, the running back situation, it looks like we're going to have some new faces there. Talk about Logan Diggs, though. Logan Diggs, he is a senior. He's got a lot of experience, but they also have a couple of new transfers coming in. Start there at the running back position.
Yeah, running back is a fun position, I think, to try and figure out what's going to happen with it this year, because Logan Diggs, like you said, the veteran, transferred from LSU, had his knee that just wasn't healthy last year, so he plays in the bowl game to kind of get back into form, and then he's going to be able to now take a stab at being one of the guys in the backfield. And if it pans out, man, that run game is going to have a chance to be really good, because with Logan Diggs, you have that thunder element to it. He's a bigger back. He's short. He's short on the shorter side, so he's kind of able to hide behind offensive linemen a little bit, just with how low he runs to the ground, which is a good thing. And he's got some power too. So I'm not ready to sit there and say he's going to be a big-time playmaker at running back. I think Kewan Lacey, with his speed, has a chance to be that guy with the explosiveness. But if Logan Diggs is steady and gives them 700 yards, and they can get another 700 out of Kewan Lacey, they're going to be in business.
So Lacey doesn't have the production yet or the experience as Damian Taylor. So tell me about Damian Taylor. I know he got 1,000 yards at the SBC conference, of course, the group of 5 level, but that's still impressive.
Yeah, exactly. And he's somebody that is looking to put an exclamation point on what's been a good run for him the last couple of years, coming over from Troy. Again, kind of a bigger back, but has that experience, has that ability to give them, I think, everything they need in a 3-down back. Just whereas if if they're being successful, if they're moving the football, they don't have to sub him out because he's, their lightning back or their thunder. He gives you a little bit of both. So that's the intrigue there. The question is, when he steps up to the next level behind an offensive line that is battling a couple injuries in fall camp already, how does that look this fall? And that goes for all the running backs. But I think when you have the speed of like a Kewan Lacey, you might be able to make up for it a little bit. But Ole Miss's offensive line is a question going into the season, especially if they're banged up. But Damian Taylor, his veteran presence, he's a really mature kid, young man. I think he's going to do nothing but at least help that running back room.
Okay, receiver, the transfers, the guys that are coming in, Stribling from Oklahoma State, Wallace from Penn State, they've got a tough job after the talent that has left this program from last year. And then Caden Lee seems like he's the top holdover. But, you look at just the depth chart at receiver now, and you've got 5 transfers and 4 freshmen, with Lee and a couple other players as the main holdovers.
Yeah, exactly. And this is I think a really good job by the staff here. And I don't know how they did it, but they did it. Dazon Stribling is a big time playmaker. I love what he brings to the table. He's a big bodied receiver. I think he's going to step in and be successful right away. Harrison Wallace could be a really good example of how you scout players and say, oh, this guy is not in an offense that showcases his skill set coming over from Penn State. What about if we put him in a big, wide open spread offense with Lane Kiffin and calling plays and doing all of that? That's the goal with Harrison Wallace, is to see him take that step from Penn State to Ole Miss and see him be one of the most explosive players on the roster. Caden Lee is excellent. I mean, he's so much fun to watch. He's a great young man as well, just really well spoken. I think he's going to top the 1,000-yard mark. It seems like him and Austin Simmons have a really good relationship going. Those three should be the strength of the passing attack. And then if they get a Caleb Odom, a Traylon Ray, a Deuce Alexander to step up, that's gravy. All those guys have intriguing skill sets, and if they get the most out of them, again, they will have a chance to rotate, which Lane Kiffin hasn't rotated receivers as much as maybe he probably should have in the past, but that is a too deep of receivers that looks like they can play in the SEC, and if 4 of the 6 pan out, they're going to be in good shape.
4 of the 7 true freshmen that we have listed on the depth chart right now are at receiver. So does one of those true freshmen stick out above the others?
Yeah, there's Caleb Cunningham, who is the former, top ranked receiver in Mississippi, blue chip guy, flip from Alabama, and then you have you have a couple others who are going to redshirt probably, but then you have Winston Watkins, who has really impressed with his route running. I still think it might be a little bit tougher to see him on the field that much because of Caden Lee, but Winston Watkins is explosive. They look like they've really hit on that one too.
Okay, but right now it sounds like you're a little bit more. You think Cunningham might get some more reps than Watkins potentially as a freshman?
I think Winston has the easier path to seeing a time on the field just because it's just Caden Lee in front of him.
Yeah.
And Caleb, it's I guess bad luck or whatever. He's been a little nicked up in camp too, so I think they will they'll try to get him on the field, but you got a 2 deep in front of you. It's just a little bit more difficult. It seems like, at least.
Who's the top offensive lineman? Do they have a blue chip lineman? How is the line looking this year?
Yeah, I think for them, the offensive line is probably the biggest question mark on the entire team right now.
Okay.
I would say Diego Pounds is a really, really good left tackle. Jaden Williams is at right tackle, but he's been a little banged up at times throughout his career, and kind of, they're looking for more out of him. So truthfully, it's kind of a little bit of a question mark, but the blue chip guy who could come on late as a true freshman is Devin Harper. He really looks like $1 million, and they flipped him from LSU, and it just looks like he's going to be a really, really strong option for them at some point, potentially this season.
Okay, so right there. So it's potentially Devin Harper could end up as the top true freshman on offense this year.
Yes, completely agree.
All right. Defensively, so we'll start on the line because, I mean, actually, you could probably look at the defensive line and the defensive backfield because there were so many losses. It's like everybody was gone. But the star power of the defensive line is going to be tough to replace.
Yeah, the defensive line is, I think, the best example of where high school recruiting has really panned out here. They've done a good job of replenishing the interior with guys like Jam Brown and Xavier Harris. Those are 2 that they really feel strongly about. But William Eccles is a massive, massive human that is going to get a lot of burn there in the middle for them on the defensive line. And then they went out and they grabbed a couple transfers in Deshaun Womack and Prince Will Uman-Mielen, the younger brother of Prince Lee Uman-Mielen, who just went to the Carolina Panthers in the draft. And those 2 players, I think, are the key to maybe unlocking the full potential of this defense. If Deshaun and Prince Will step up and do and fulfill their potential, they're going to be really special across the front 4, because then they have Suntarian Perkins, one of the best linebackers, outside linebackers in all of college football, and they love sending him off the edge and playing him at that kind of stand-up defensive end role. They have a chance to really wreak a lot of havoc, and they did do that up front on that defensive line in the scrimmage on Saturday. They really got after Austin Simmons in a big way.
In that secondary, Billy, just taking a look at the depth chart, all 5 players we have listed are transfers.
Yeah, that's exactly. That is a group that is still being worked on. I think Ricky Fletcher, who's a big time sleeper at corner, and uh, I would say probably Antonio Kite, Auburn transfer. Those are my two bets, I would say, to start at corner right now. Both have a lot of athleticism and size to them. And if they can find one of those two, or maybe even both, to play really good football for them, that allows Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator, to really change how he calls a game. He can call some, tag, a man-to-man coverage on one of the corners. He can allow different blitz packages to be deployed. He can do all those things because he trusts his corners. And right now, I get the sense that he's pretty high on them. And then the safety positions, I think the nickel position with Kapina Gushkin coming over from Washington State is going to be a lot of fun to watch him emerge and be, I think, one of the sleeper players in the SEC to maybe get like an honorable mention type of nod after the season, just because he's got so much versatility and smarts. I talked to somebody at Washington State when he transferred, and they just said, "Look, this is a guy we could have played anywhere. He did play anywhere and everywhere at times, but we really like what he brought to the table." Ricky Fletcher actually missed all of 2024 though, and he participated in spring ball, and his tape got out, and he entered the portal, and there were a lot of teams calling, and they were able to bring him back to Mississippi, which is going to be a cool story if it works out for him. When you see the two safety spots, I would say Ole Miss is going to take the first game or two to figure out what those two spots look like.
Okay.
From Sage Ryan, Jalen Braxton, I think those are two good bets to be starting at those spots right now. But then you also have Nick Cole, you have Wyatt Williams there, which is a good one as well. I still think they're going to be working through that position because it's also seen some guys banged up as well. So lots of things they're still working on, but I mean, Pete Golding's one of the best defensive coordinators in all of college football.
And let's talk about a breakout player for each side. Let's start on defense. And I know there's a lot of transfers on defense. So, and Perkins, of course, is already broken out. So this will be interesting. Give me a breakout player, a holdover from last year that you think will take that next step this year.
I think Tyler Banks is going to play a pretty big role for them because you have TJ Daugherty, who is one of the top guys in terms of snaps last year at linebacker returning. And he's, going to play a lot with Suntarian Perkins. He's also going to play a lot with Taj Chambers. But Tyler Banks earned that Chucky Mullins Award recognition. So he's actually going to end up, you can update your database, he's going to end up wearing 38. It's a huge honor at Ole Miss. And so he earned that jersey. They just announced it in the last day or so. So pretty cool deal for him. I think he breaks out, and he's, again, one of those reasons why you stick with something and you could see it pay off in that big way. So that's my pick on defense for breakout player.
So do you think, I mean, is Banks right now, do you think he is starter alongside Perkins, or is Daugherty a starter?
So I would say that it's TJ Daugherty and Taj Chambers going to start primarily together. And then Suntarian Perkins will play, rush end, outside linebacker. They'll kind of move him around and also have a little bit of off-ball stuff with him.
Okay.
But that's kind of my read on it. Suntarian Perkins is he's just a doesn't come off the field guy.
Yes, understood that. All right, on offense, breakout player, veteran. What do you got?
This is a tough one. I don't know. There's
offensive line. You can still use offensive line if you like. It doesn't have to be skill position.
I guess I'm going to go with Daquan Wright. This is probably the right one to go with. He played last year. He played a lot. He did very well. He's a household name, I would say, but he also split time with Caden Prescorn last year. So I say Daquan Wright, the returning tight end, becomes, like a I mean, I think he's going to catch 50 balls and be
That's a
around,
good one.
the 600-700 yard mark potentially.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you about what you think about the team. Taking a look at, let's see, let's pop up the schedule if we get a chance first. And what do you think? Because I believe the win total for Ole Miss is 8.5. Who would have thought that the win total for Ole Miss would be just 8.5? But that's what the deal is. Taking a look at their schedule, I'm going to pop that in here. And let's see. Yeah. What do you think? Because I'm looking at the schedule right now, and they've got, a couple of tough road games, but for the most part, it's not that bad of a schedule. Again, it's SEC. You can't avoid everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing: when you talk about win totals, at least for me, I'll blurt out. I could see them going 10-2. I don't know where the second loss comes from, but that's what I feel this team is. I think Lane Kiffin's proven that. Mm-hmm. And if they were to drop down, I still see him as a 9-win team. And part of that's the schedule. If Austin Simmons is the guy he looks like, that he has the potential to be long-term,
yeah,
I see them winning 9-10 games. And again, until Lane Kiffin gives me a reason not to pick 10 wins, I'll stick with 10. But they go to Georgia. Georgia hasn't lost at home much. That's a really difficult game. The only way I could see, I don't want to say only way, but man, if Georgia's offense is ugly this year, like poor, I could see Ole Miss winning that game. But I also think that's just because the matchup,
sure,
favors Ole Miss if Georgia's offense does not step up with their new quarterback.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, you got to feel good about them being competitive with teams like LSU and South Carolina. And then outside of that, you look at the schedule like, all right, this is pretty, they should be able to kind of handle some of these things. We'll see how Florida is if DJ Lagway is healthy. But yeah, I say 9-10 wins, and I tend to err on the side of 10.
Yeah, because you got LSU, South Carolina, Florida. 3 of the 5 toughest games on the schedule are at home. Yep. And the second toughest schedule on the team on the road is Oklahoma. And it's not like Oklahoma's done anything yet in the SEC. And lots the one thing they have that some of these other teams don't have is they've got a veteran quarterback that's thrown for a bunch of yards, and he's got to do it though now in the SEC. And Venables also has got to win, something that Lane Kiffin already knows how to do. So yeah, it certainly looks like to me that Ole Miss, if they have a good season, they're probably going to be favored in every game except the road game at Georgia.
That's kind of my thought. I just don't. And it was funny, the AP poll came out today, and Ole Miss was 21st. The coaches had Ole Miss all the way up at 15. It's interesting to see some of those changes between the polls, and Ole Miss seems to be one of the few that gets hit with that from the AP from time to time. I wonder why.
Yeah, right. And then you've got Ole Miss sitting there as the 6th choice as far as Vegas is concerned at DraftKings to win the SEC at 16-1. So
it's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Again, because like you said, I mean, that's the great fun part this year about the SEC is that the 3 top teams right now, as far as Vegas is concerned, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, they don't have any proven quarterbacks. You can say what you want about Arch Manning, but he hasn't done anything yet. And same thing with Gunner. So, I think Alabama's got a nice young quarterback as well, but these are all unproven guys. And even Texas A&M, we still have Marcel Reeds, of course, a little bit more experience in these guys, but still don't know what he's going to do. You mentioned Lagway. Tennessee's got a veteran, but that kid's played in the Sun Belt. And LSU's got the best quarterback, but, they haven't proven it yet, LSU under Brian Kelly. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This SEC, I tell you what, this SEC as a Big Ten guy, I fully admit the SEC from top to almost bottom is just loaded. It's like I can envision the 13th place team being an SEC contender. That's how loaded this is. If everything were to go like perfectly for that team, whoever that is.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's that competitive. And I think this is one of, at least preseason for me, one of the most exciting years to cover for those reasons that you mentioned. And I would love to see it go a little bit haywire and have it kind of be a little unconventional as far as who goes to Atlanta and who makes it in the playoff. And let's have some chaos and let's do it.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see Georgia and Texas in the SEC championship game.
The Arch Manning hype, I think he's going to be phenomenal, by the way, for the record. So I do think Texas is probably going to be in the SEC championship. But Georgia somehow continuing to make it there with some of the offensive play that they continue to roll out is just mind-boggling to me. So everybody else has to step up in the SEC, I guess.
Yeah, there's a bunch of teams that could be sleepers this year, and I just think there's too many options to not have one of them be like right there at the end with a shot. I just think we're just guessing who it's going to be. That's the tough part. Billy, thank you very much. And I look forward to hopefully getting the opportunity to check in with you during the season, especially if everything's going well for Ole Miss football in 2025. In the meantime, I want to remind everybody that's watching, got links in the description of this video where you can check out everything that Billy covers regarding Ole Miss football. He also covers SMU football, so there's links for that as well. And, of course, how to follow Billy on social media. So thanks for doing this, Billy. And, again, have a great season, and hopefully we'll talk during the season.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it, Billy. Take care. All right, and that's going to do it here for Billy Embody from On3, the On3 Sports Network. I'm Greg DePalma. Please subscribe, like, share, all that cool stuff, because we have loads of interviews for college football all the way through, previewing the season. And then during the season, hopefully we'll be able to get the opportunity not only to talk to Billy, but a bunch of other of our contacts, and that's what we're going to do. So that's why you want to subscribe, so you don't miss any of this awesome info from these guys or girls that cover the programs. So it's very important. Same thing in the NFL. Matter of fact, we're going to be continuing our NFL previews with our Los Angeles Chargers interview later tonight. We are recording this right now at 5:00 Eastern on Monday. So you are probably going to be able to watch that LA Chargers interview before you get an opportunity to see this one. But you know the deal. Bottom line is we've got loads of NFL. Matter of fact, we're aiming for all 32 before the season begins. So we'll see if we can get there. Thanks for tuning in, and let us know what you think. Comments, suggestions, questions, all that kind of stuff. We really welcome that. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see everybody next time on the RLS Football Network.